But as promised, this is going to be all about ideas for 2010 in the mid-cap and small-cap space. Mr. K. N. Rahman joins in with his thoughts. Mr. Rahman, morning. Thanks for being with us. You've picked out three interesting companies, GVK Power, which is far more tracked and people do know quite a bit about it. Then, of course, we are also looking at Praj Industries. And then the other very interesting one is Sabero Organics. I want to start first with Sabero. It's a company in the crop protection space, agri space, so to speak. Tell us more on why you like this company.
Yeah, so when we were choosing these three stocks, the Sabero has been a bottom-up approach where we have chosen it as a fast-growing company. It's basically an integrated agrochemical company and having a leadership positions in two of the chemicals in which they operate, particularly the mancozeb and glyphosate. And the interesting point in agrochemical field is a lot of countries, developed countries, have stronger regulations coming in for the environmental protection norms. And secondly, the labor cost has increased manifold, plus the raw material cost. So all these things have put them in a situation where they are looking for a manufacturing unit in developing countries. Or in fact, they have shut down their plants and outsourced the entire chemical sourcing from the developing countries. So Sabero is getting benefit out of it, as it is visible that now they are exporting around 70% of their entire sales are coming from exports, and that too they are supplying for all renowned multinational companies. So this clearly indicates that the trend is changing and they will be a leading suppliers going forward. Another interesting point has happened is the Chinese, after the Olympic, the regulations on Beijing has been stricter and a lot of chemical companies have shifted from Beijing or in fact shut down their operations.
Right.
So this eventually is helping Sabero to get the entire business in a Indian operating front.
Okay, and, Mr. Rahman, if I could just quickly come in, what's the kind of return you would expect on the stock if you invest now? Just a rough sense?
The EPS growth which we are expecting is somewhere around about 50 to 60%. So clearly it will be a multi-bagger stock, and of course last year only, this year only people have identified it, but the scope is quite good and we expect it to go 50%, 60% return in next 1 year.
All right, hold on to that thought because we've got Mr. Sumit Chuganee, Executive Vice Chairman of Sabero Organics right here. Sumit, you heard the bullish comments that are coming in from the analyst fraternity, lots of expectations from the company. I just want to start by getting a quick clarification on top line. As per the numbers that I have, that's where there's been a little bit of a concern because in the last quarter, on a quarter-on-quarter and a year-on-year perspective, the top line was a bit stagnant to slightly on the lower side. What kind of basic, revenue growth are you expecting in the next 1 odd year?
Well, in general, we're looking at a 20 to 25% top line growth over the next 3 years. And in the current year as well as opposed to last year, we showed a 20 to 25% growth. So in the current year, our gross sales will be about 500 crores. And then the growth we anticipate is about 20 to 25% on the top line going forward, at least for the next 3 years.
Okay, the research which the team has put together here shows that you've got different product lines. There are fungicides, herbicides, insecticides. 40% of the business is coming in from fungicides. What about profitability? What kind of margins do you typically operate at? And is that expected to improve as you look at the next year?
Well, if you look at the current year, our margins have improved in the current year. Yeah, and we anticipate that our margins would be in the range of 16 to 19% on an EBITDA level.
Okay.
So among our portfolio products, some of which are fungicides, some of which are weedicides or herbicides, and some of which are insecticides, we make about 8-9 products. Some of them are little above our average EBITDA of 16 to 19 and some of them a little below. As far as our fungicides are concerned, they will be slightly above the average. So overall, we expect about 16 to 19% in terms of EBITDA.
What's the kind of volume growth that you're clocking right now? Because a lot of this top line is coming in from overseas markets. I think especially the Americas are big geographical regions for you.
Right. Well, one of the main barriers to entry in this business is registrations. And that's a long drawn-out process. So you have to wait that through. And registrations can take anywhere between 6 months to 3 years. So as we keep on getting more and more registrations, the geographies that we can actually sell to keep on opening up. So we see countries like Brazil to be a major area. We have offices in Brazil, and we are expecting our second registration of our fungicide in the next quarter. And with each registration, we anticipate that we can do incremental sales of about 40 to 50 crores for that one registration that we get in countries such as Brazil, which are.
So next 1 year, how many product registrations? And therefore, I'm just trying to get a sense on the growth.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could get multiple registrations, but we are expecting at least 10 product registrations in countries where the incremental volume and revenue would be substantial.
Okay, so finally, as you look at expanding the business, what kind of capacity utilization levels are you working at, your plants where you manufacture, and do you have any fundraising requirements right now?
Well, we're currently running at about 60% capacity utilization. Some may be higher, some may be lower, depending on the product. So with the current assets on the ground, we believe that we can deliver sales about 750 crores. So that comes from your existing assets. In terms of new fund requirements, we have a bunch of products under development. So we have a requirement of about 50 crores going forward over the next 12 months.
Okay.
And that will be in terms of new capital assets on the ground, new product lines that we intend to introduce.
So the 50 crores will be met through internal accruals, or are you looking at going to the market, debt or equity?
A portion of it would be debt, long-term debt. Could be rupee denominated or foreign currency denominated.
Okay.
And maybe 40% to 50% of that would be through internal accruals.
All right, Sumit, good luck and thanks so much for dropping by. Good luck with the business going forward. Wish you a happy new year.
Yeah, you too.
All right, that's Sabero Organics. Take a look at the price movement on the stock. 3 months, it's up about 40%, but the year movement has been the real stunner, about 339% higher in the past 1 year. And Way to Wealth expects it to go about 60% higher even from current levels. We'll take a short break on that note. Back with their other picks on the other side, GVK Power and Praj Industries. Stay tuned.